So this week we're talking about communication and being more effective in your communication. And yesterday we kind of went over how it's important that communication really starts with what it is that you want, like the message that you're putting out there, having conversations with people, right? And what is it that you want to get out of that conversation, right? There are several different mediums that you can put your message out. I mean, obviously the first one would be having a phone call with someone. Call someone up, right? What is the purpose of that call? What do I want to get out of it? Right? The different mediums would be face-to-face with people. It would be texting people directly, emailing people directly, DMing people. So the message, the medium that you use is up to you, whatever you decide. But it's real important is understanding, what do you want to get out of this? Why am I connecting with this person? Right? What is the end result that I'm looking for? And once you have that in mind, you know exactly what it is that you want to get. The next step is having open-ended questions, using open-ended questions to get to that end result, right? What are the open-ended questions that we're going to use to get to that end result? Reminder that the scripts or questions that you use, because that's what a script is, the scripts that you would use, the idea behind it is to obviously pace and lead the conversation to that end result. But also, the purpose of that script is to help you build rapport. So if I'm calling a for sale by owner, which we have no rapport at all, they don't know me from a hole in the ground, right? How do I build that rapport with them? What are the questions that I need to ask to build that trust, right? A technique that we use with that is we ask the question, they give you an answer, you repeat that answer, right? Telling them, hey, I'm listening to you. I've heard what you said. And then we give them approval, right? And this is real key. The approval part is extremely important. And this goes with any communication. If you really think about it, the goal here is to obviously build that trust. And if you think of the conversations that you typically have with your friends, with your circle of friends, people that like I'm talking like a real close friend of yours, right? And let's say that a very close friend of yours just purchased a car. They bought themselves a car, right? And you're like, oh, hey, you bought yourself a car. That's fantastic. What car did you get? So I repeat, gave them approval, and I jumped in right to the next question. And they're like, yeah, we bought ourselves a BMW. BMW, no way. What model? You see how that works? It's I'm repeating what they're saying, I'm giving them approval, and I'm jumping to the next question. And that's normal. Like if you think about the conversations you have with your friends, that's kind of how it works. When they are in line with you. I mean, like a true friend. I'm not the one that's jelly, anyone that's jealous about you. I'm talking about someone who's actually a friend of yours, right? And you're having that conversation. That's normal. So what I'm looking for when we talk about communication being effective with your scripts, the repeat and approval is just normal. That's how people sound, right? So today, I want to go beyond that. I want to get a little bit deeper on the technical stuff, right? And what I want to talk about today would be your words, your tonality, and your body language. See, most agents believe that the reason they're not effective communicators is because they don't know what to say to the consumer. They don't know what questions they should be asking. They don't know, hey, listen, I wish I had your talent and knew how to say the words the way you're saying it. And the reality is, right, I'm not sure if you guys actually know this, the actual words that you say are not really as important in the communication. In fact, write this down. The words that you use, the questions that you're asking, only account for about 7% of that spoken message. Did you know that our tone of voice can influence that message as much as 38%? 38%. And the body language that we're using makes up the 55% of that communication. Really let that sink in. The words are only 7%. The tonality is 38%. And the body language is 55%. Right here, side note. How do you increase that communication on the phone, because that's tough. Like, it's like, you know what, Danny, that's amazing, the words, but they don't see me on the phone, right? You're only using one of the 5 senses. How do we, you know, this is a little tip, how do we get that body, like that 55% communication through a phone call? Like, I could totally sell you on the idea of a video or face-to-face, because they can see my impression, my expressions. They can see the energy. They can, you know what I mean? Like, they can see that. They can't see that on a phone call, right? But what I can tell you is they can hear it. That energy that you put out there. Now, if you stand up and make your calls, right, that energy that's coming through the body language, they'll hear that. So remember that all 3 parts of communication happen at the same time. And if you're not paying attention, the message you send out by your tone or your body language can conflict with the words. And if that happens, that's reducing the effectiveness of what you're saying, right? For example, if you're asking them to sign a contract and you're doing this in your head, if you're doing this, right, that's conflicting, right? Does your tone and the way you put yourself, the body language, is it congruent with the words you're saying, right? And that's real key. So we're talking about how to improve your tonality and your body language. So action step, this is what I want you to do. I want you to grab a script. Any script that you're using, it could be a for sale by owner script, it could be your database script, it could be a lead form script, I don't care. I need you to read it several times through so that once you absolutely know the words for it, then test this. Test doing different tonalities. Test, you know, maybe sitting down and using different language, like your body language being at a different position, right? What do you notice from that? What do you notice from the phrases? You know, stand in front of a mirror, read the script, and change that tonality, change the body, right? Can you make the script or sound weak by changing the tone or even your facial expressions, right? Try a confident tone. You know, is there a difference there? What makes that difference? You really need to understand this, right? What happens if the confident tone, but your language is not a confident one? Right? Like your body language is not a confident one, right? Mix it up. Get, you know, look at it from excited, from questioning, sad, happy, direct, shy, other tones, other body languages, and see what happens when they don't match. Does that message be as effective? Now, this is a very good exercise to improve your communication, right? One of the things that Tom Ferry would always ask you to do is have a mirror in your office to remind you to smile, right? Because that's your body. You're using the smile. That helps you with the conversation. If you're looking at improving conversations over the phone, you should have a mirror to always remind yourself to smile, right? But this exercise will help you in understanding, hey, my tone, my body, it really plays a big part. If you're grabbing the phone like this and you're sitting on your desk like this and it's like, would you like to set an appointment? How's that versus standing up, having a headset on, right? Energy up, arms up, language up. Does this change my mood? Does this just change my results? Because at the end of the day, we're looking for results, right, folks? And I'm just sharing with you some points on how to improve that. All right, next point I wrote down is building rapport with mirroring and matching. Mirroring and matching. So quantum physics teaches that everyone in the universe is made up of energy vibrating at different frequencies. Cool, right? So this applies to people as well, right? We are bundled masses of energies vibrating at different levels, and everyone has their own energy level that shows up at specific rate of speech. Write that down. Rate of speech, tonality, body posture, and volume. You know, how loudly or soft do people speak, right? So, for example, a high energy person generally speaks with a higher tone of voice, and maybe a faster rate, as you can see, right? I speak at a faster rate. They usually lean towards others when listening or speaking, right? So what's important about people having different energy levels? Well, our brain is hardwired for one main purpose, and that's survival. So our brain unconsciously scans for others who are like themselves, right? With similar energy levels and similar tonalities and similar, whether high or low or speaking softly or loudly, right? We all tend to gravitate towards people who are like ourselves. And if we want to be successful in connecting with others, we need to match their energy level. And communication is the transfer of energy. That's what communication is. So being very real with, hey, I need to mirror and match those that I'm speaking with, right? Right. We are going to improve our communication by making them feel more comfortable. Does this make sense? Aligning your energy with their energy makes them feel more comfortable. That's what we're looking for. So mirroring and matching, this is how we do it, okay? You are easily correct an energy discount in 2 steps using NLP technique called mirror and matching, right? What does that mean? Well, the 2 steps of mirror matching is number 1, awareness. Pay attention to other people. Watch how they move. Listen how they speak. What are the pronunciation of words, right? How do they speak, right? That's number 1. Number 2 is alignment. Match their rate of speech. Match their tonality. Match how their body posturing and their volume. Make your energy level aligned with them, right? So I put down here an action step for you guys. And this is amazing for my teams. And if you're not on a team, do this with your role play partners, right? Do this with your role play partners. I like you to, first of all, practice on your own, right? We're going to role play this on your own. Basically in front of a mirror. First, of course, read out the script several times until you know it well. Then think of your favorite, fictional character, right? Think of your fictional character. What tone do you remember that character using? How was their body language? What was their volume? What was their rate of speech? Imagine yourself in that favorite famous character, right? Again, you're practicing how to mirror match, right? Now, side tip here. When doing this with the public, very, very important. Do not copy accents. Okay, do not copy accents or mimic anything specific that might offend the other person. Okay, be very general. If a person speaks slowly, you match that pace, right? Then if match their tonality, match their body language, their energy level. We're not matching accents, okay, guys? Do not, because the last thing you want to do, right, is match someone's accent. You show up there and go, oh, you don't look that way. No, you don't. All right. So be very careful with that. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about here. I am strictly talking about the tonality, the rate of speech, how quickly do they talk, and of course, their energy level, which is very important. And this is amazing with expireds. Okay. This really is amazing. You want to gain that trust with them right off the bat. Do you realize that expireds maybe a little bit pissed off at the last agent? Everything is selling, but they're home. Like, why? How did that happen? Right? So they may come on the phone a little bit disgruntled, a little bit pissed off. And they're like, dude, you're like the 20th person that called me. Right? You want to gain their trust? Match their energy. It's like, I know you must have an awesome home for everyone to be calling you. You have to match their energy, especially up front. Don't be afraid of this. You walk in there timid when they're all angry and their energy's up here and your energy is down here. Like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. No, that's not going to work with them. But if you match their energy, especially up front, they're respecting, okay. It's like, hey, you know what? Where were you when my home was for sale? Well, actually, I was selling the homes that I had listed. That's what I was doing. Now, if you were listed with me, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. Right? Match their tone. Match their energy, you'd be surprised. And here's the great news. You have them when the tone changes. when you start to pace and lead the tonality, pace and lead the energy. They may be up here at the beginning, but then as you ask more questions, build that rapport, repeat, then now their tonality is down. Now they're setting an appointment with you. You've talked them off that ledge and you got them into reality. And you know what? That happens in seconds. And it really is the tonality you're using, the energy level that you're using. That is way more important than the words that you're using. All right, last point I got here. I got 3 minutes. You guys ready? Okay, write this down. Speak with authority by using downswings. Okay, downswings, right? See, this is called, this is an NLP technique, right? Which helps you build authority through tonality, right? What you're doing is you're simply applying like a karate chop at the very end of the sentence. It emphasizes kind of like a downswing. So if you lower the tone, catches our attention and makes us, follow the lead, right? So the secret is lowering the tone is that it works best at the very end of a sentence, right? So just swing your voice lower at the end of the sentence, right? The opposite of this is what's called an upswing, where you raise your voice in a higher tone, not raising volume, just as a higher tone, right? It at the end of the sentence, that creates uncertainty, that makes you sound like you don't care, right? So when you want to create this authority, right, use the downswing at the very end of the sentence. And what does that do? That creates some certainty. It makes you sound more sincere, right? It sounds like you care, and it gives you more confidence when you're talking with people. So use a downswing. And here's the thing, here's a little tip. If you use the downswing and you put a smile on your face, it sounds less intense. Okay, it does sound less intense. So you put a smile on your face and you use a downswing on the last word of the sentence. Very powerful to show authority. All right, does anyone have any questions regarding this effective communication? How to be more effective? No, you guys all good? All right. It's Tuesday, baby. It's Tuesday. So please unmute yourselves. We're all excited. Come on, who comes off every time? Come on, you got to hear this. I want to hear it loud and proud, baby. You ready? What day's today?
Money making day.
That's right, it's a money making day. What do you have to do today to help you move the needle? You guys are awesome. I'll talk to all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dan.